What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Man, oh man, that Cris Carter absolutely eviscerated Skip Bayless recently on a podcast. So I believe I think the podcast he was on is called Fully Loaded. Not familiar with who the host is. I did subscribe to the platform because any podcast that has a guy on there talk that open and honest and not be politically correct and say what he really feels, it has to be a good podcast. So it's called Fully Loaded. I don't know the name of the guy. It's a bald white guy, but not sure what his name is. But anyway, Cris Carter was on there. Now, of course, those of you who are a little bit younger, Cris Carter is a former NFL player and a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He played most of his career, I believe, with the Minnesota Vikings, but he did have a stint with the Miami Dolphins. And he may have even played with the Eagles at one point. I don't know why the Eagles popping up in my mind as he played for. Maybe he played with them earlier. But I definitely know the Vikings and the Dolphins. He never won a Super Bowl. And I believe he never appeared in a Super Bowl. The closest he got to a Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, is during the 1998 season. During the 98 season, they were projected to go, but they lost in the NFC Championship game to the Atlanta Falcons. I think that's when Gary Anderson missed a kick that would have tied the game at 30-all, I believe. They lost 30-27. It was a shocker because everyone expected them to win, at least get to the Super Bowl. They only lost one regular season game. And at the time, they set a record for most points scored in the NFL season. They were just a juggernaut. That was Randy Moss's rookie year. He was lighting up the NFL. So, anyway, most recently, Cris Carter was a contributor on Fox Sports. Remember, he was the original star of First Things First before he was unceremoniously fired. Supposedly, he had a brouhaha with some executives, and they got rid of him. But before that, Cris Carter was a contributor to ESPN. And he went in on Skip Bayless on his podcast. He said that there was an incident where he got into it with Skip Bayless. He got into it. And he threatened off the air when they were on break that he was going to punch Skip in the face. He was going to break his face if he ever disrespected him again. Now, this is what Skip Bayless used to do to get under athletes, in particular, Hall of Fame level athletes. This is what Skip used to say to get under these guys' skin.
Is a competitive force of nature. I think you both would agree.
Now he's talking about Tim Tebow.
That there is a shocking transformation with 5-6 minutes to go in the game. When they do unleash, and I'm being serious about this, that's a whole different player.
This is the thing, though. You're giving Tebow too much credit as a competitor, though. Like, he's no more a competitor than me or anyone else in don't put too much yeast on that.
Inspire the whole football team.
No, you can't. No, you're wrong on that. He's not inspiring the whole football team.
No, you're wrong on that. You're wrong on that. You're dead wrong on that one.
Well, I've been on the NFL field before. You never have.
I don't care. I know what I'm talking about.
You mean you don't care?
Okay. Okay. Did you lift the football team to a lot of wins? I don't know. This is a competitive force of nature.
That's the type of stuff that used to get on people's nerves. This guy who is a nobody, is telling someone who played in the NFL from the outside what Tim Tebow, who, by the way, we all knew back then that he was a fluke. But, you had all these fans of Tim Tebow. Oh, he's revolutionizing the quarterback position. Even though we've seen Cordell Stewart play a similar style but better. We saw Charlie Ward in college not even making it to pros because supposedly he couldn't throw the football well enough. Heisman Trophy winner, did have a decent NBA career. We had seen guys like that before and since. I'm sorry. I'm just going to put it out there. when you're black and you can't throw the football, it's a liability. When Tim Tebow, who had a 45% completion percentage, somehow he was, his scrambling ability was being seen as revolutionary. Just BS. It was just BS, bro. And one of the biggest things one of the biggest hypocrisies is that people had a problem with, a guy like Colin Kaepernick taking a knee for the reasons he did, but nobody had any problems. Oh, and by the way, people had problems now with athletes showing religious displays, but they didn't have any problem with Tim Tebow praying to Jesus in the sideline. Remember that? Nobody had a problem with that. Nobody had a problem with him doing it. But if C.J. Stroud thinks his Lord and Savior on NBC, they scrap it. But I don't even want to go down that road right now. You know what I'm saying? But I had to mention that because it's BS. Skip Bayless has a long history of disrespecting athletes. So Cris Carter talked about a time when they were talking about Tim Tebow again. And, he was basically, his thing is, look, Tim Tebow was decent, but he wasn't all that. And he felt like Skip was giving him too much credit. So Skip said something about, something to the effect of, you never won anything. The attitude that you have, that's why you never won anything. So when they went to break, after being disrespected again by Skip Bayless, Cris Carter said to him, if you disrespect me one more time, I'm punching you in the fucking face. Something to that effect. Or I'm going to break your fucking face. And then he walked off. And he said that Skip, just isn't his favorite guy. Said Skip just has a history of doing those types of things. And he said also that, and I guess more pertinently to the whole situation, that this whole debate thing that's been popular for the last 10 to 15 years, which is starting to go down in popularity now, it's not real. That they have meetings behind the scenes determining who's going to win the debate. They pretty much already predetermined who's going to have this position versus that position, the points they're going to make, and how these things are going to go about, how they're going to be argued, and basically who's going to win. These things are already pre-scripted. So in essence, the debate shows are WWE arranged. It's entertainment, but it's not really real. These aren't real debates. Because look, on social media, we have real debates. And when you have real debates, people fumble their words. They have to think about what they got to say. The fluidity of how these debates go on television always led me to believe some of these things were scripted. People tend to flub. People have a tendency to stutter, stammer. They have to think their positions out. Now, once you get used to debating, it comes to you a little bit better. Like just doing videos, for instance. When I first started doing videos 13 years ago now, when I first started doing videos back in 2011, some of my older videos, they weren't very good. I stammered. I had to think about what I had to say more often. Still got a little bit of a stammer, but I think I've become a lot more fluid in how I do these things. I've gotten used to doing videos. It comes to me faster. That's just off of repetition. But some people just have a natural gift for it. But still, if you're doing a live video, a live stream, there are times when you have dead air. There are times when you're thinking. And the way that they go back and forth, and it seems like it's already, the retorts are so quick and so witty. And I mean, some of it's skill, but some of it always felt a little bit contrived. And that's been confirmed by Cris Carter. And he also talked about how Skip Bayless is a fraud. He went there. He said that, a lot of Skip's positions are not believable. You cannot know sports and have a position where you think Tim Tebow's a Hall of Famer, or, you think LeBron James. Look, I don't like LeBron James. Okay. I used to be a huge fan of his, but I see certain things in him. Maybe I see them in other people. Some other people don't see them, but I see the agenda. I see the arrogance. I see the selfishness. I see the premeditation that he goes out there as far as I'm always trying to pad my – he doesn't play – it's like it's not organic or fluid anymore. It's like he's just out there trying to play for himself. And he has these documentary cameras running around trying to pull off a Last Dance 2.0, but he keeps failing all the time. He keeps losing in the playoffs, getting swept by Denver, losing to Denver in 5. So he's trying to make this Olympics where it's almost guaranteed they're going to win. He's trying to, in his selfishness, making it about him. Making it about him. You know? Also, never mind the fact that dude's averaging 6 turnovers a game versus 7 assists, 14% from 3 last I checked. But anyway, he exposed Skip for being a fraud, man. And most egregiously, he said that Skip is basically exploiting black culture. You know, posing in Jordans, being having cultivated and manufactured friendships with rappers like, Lil Wayne and, basically said, look, he underestimated the popularity of Shannon Sharpe. Because Skip wants to be in control. Skip is threatened by anybody that has any shine. And he also seriously hinted that Skip is on something. You know what I'm saying? He hinted that Skip, how can I say this? That Skip might be a little bit bigoted, possibly. Okay, he didn't come around and say it, but he damn sure hinted at it. And, he talked about how Skip has been carried by other people. He's been carried by Stephen A. Smith for many years and then carried by Shannon Sharpe. And look, everybody's always talking about, Skip. Skip is the one that gave Stephen A. a chance. And Skip is the one that gave Shannon Sharpe a chance. Well, the thing about it is, Stephen A. was already on ESPN. Remember, he got fired before. He was already on ESPN. He had his own show. So give Stephen A., even though I don't like him, from a professional standpoint, he had already established himself as a personality. Now, ever since he came back, he's been doing that tap dance, and we know that. But he already was established before he was fired the first time. Now, yes, Skip did give an opportunity to be on the show, and it gave him footing and a permanent fixture on that network. But look at it. Ever since Skip has left, you could argue the show's been better. Right? Same thing with Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe, yeah, he gave Shannon Sharpe opportunity to be on once again a platform of stability that he can showcase his talents. But Shannon Sharpe had been on TV before. Shannon Sharpe had been on the NFL Network. And I think he used to be on CBS, if I'm not mistaken. So Shannon Sharpe's been on TV ever since he retired, which was the mid-2000s. So give him some credit. And then look at the fact, if you want to talk about whose show that really was, or who really was the difference maker, when Shannon Sharpe left Undisputed, which was just this past June, not this June, but June of last year, I believe, after the NBA Finals, 2023 Finals, 80% of the audience left with him. They were always losing to ESPN First Take, but damn, at least Undisputed was doing 250,000, 300,000, sometimes on a really peak show, 400,000 views. These jokers are doing 50, 70,000 views. Look at Skip Bayless' YouTube channel. He has some videos that don't have many more views than some of my videos. I'm a nobody. This is Skip Bayless. People give this guy way too much credit, man. Way too much credit. There's a reason why he's off television. This is a ratings business, and he's not getting it done. Without somebody to feed off of, he's not nobody. He's not very interesting, and to be honest with you, I don't think he's really a great debater. He makes the same damn debate points every time, and he's so predictable. Like he said, there's no way in hell you could love Tom Brady that much. This guy, Tom Brady, was involved with so many cheating scandals, but, it doesn't stick to him, though. You know what I'm saying? He loves himself some Tom Brady, but, you got so much against, Terrell Owens. Got nerve to say that he's not a Hall of Fame. Nobody can take you seriously if you're saying stuff like that. You just premeditatedly saying dumb things. But anyway, that's all I got to say about that, man. Salute to Cris Carter, man. I thought it was messed up the way that Fox Sports fired him anyway. You know what I mean? And I think I'm not mistaken. I'm a little bit fuzzy on it, but I thought he got into it. Supposedly, he might have got into it with Nick Wrong. And Nick Wrong might have had something to do with it. I forgot some of the details of that. But anyway, salute to all you guys that support me on here. Salute to all you who have donated. And if you're interested in sign up to the Patreon, the link to the Patreon is at the bottom of the screen. And if you want to need the link directly to subscribe to Patreon, it's in the All My Links link in the description box below. Usually, you can see the link also in the comments section, but sometimes YouTube plays games and try to hide that link. So just putting it out there just in case people are interested in sign up. Salute to you all. And by the way, I will have 3 new Patreon videos coming out tomorrow. So look for that as well. Salute to all you all. Hope you have a nice day.